Hello, my name is LaTanya Spencer. I'm a Community Involvement Coordinator for the United States Environmental Protection Agency, Region 4 in Atlanta, Georgia. Today, we're going to take you through a guided tour of the copper plant and operations. We will also talk about the historical environmental issues of the site and how those issues are being addressed.
Hello, I'm Scott Miller, the Remedial Project Manager for the Cabot Koppers Superfund site. Today we're going to talk about the parties involved at the site. Koppers Inc. is the current site operator and owner. Cabot Carbon and Beazer East were former site owners and operators that are also responsible parties under the Superfund law. EPA, in conjunction with Florida DEP and Alachua County EPD, are in charge of supervising the cleanup. Let's go take a look at the current site operations. When the poles are first brought to the plant, they're brought here to the debarker. Here, the bark is removed from the pole, and then the bark is recycled and used as power in the plant's boiler, which powers a part of the plant's operations. After the pole goes through the debarking process, it's removed from the debarker and sent over to the kiln. The utility poles are removed from the kiln and they're brought down this track and placed in this cylinder behind me. In this cylinder, they're treated with wood treating solution for approximately 2.5 hours under pressure. Once the 2.5 hours treatment has passed, then there's a vacuum pulled across the utility poles, and the leftover wood treating solution is recycled back to a storage area behind the cylinder. Once that's taken place, the utility poles are removed from the cylinder and they're allowed to dry completely on this self-contained pad here. In this way, there is no effect on the environment. Koppers does many things to be a good neighbor and member of the community. One of the things that they do is to consolidate coal storage in areas away from the neighborhood. The second thing that they do is to put water on the roadways to keep the dust down. The final thing that they do is they've created a sound barrier between them and the neighborhood. In addition to these safety practices, Koppers management meets on a quarterly basis with a community advisory panel to keep them updated on current operations and improvements. Koppers management seeks feedback from the community and in some cases makes operational changes based on that. We've talked about how the plant operates in an environmentally friendly manner today. Now we're going to talk about past practices that led to groundwater and soil releases and ultimately to a designation on EPA's Superfund list. The site has been in operation continuously since 1916 and has changed ownership many times. Past practices led to the conditions that we see today. Those past practices have been discontinued for the last 25 years. Past practices included impregnating utility poles with pentachlorophenol, creosote, and CCA. Wastewater was sent to unlined lagoons like this used to be. This aerial map shows the 4 principal source areas. Where I'm standing is the former South Lagoon. It's since been shut down, but the impacts to groundwater and soil still remain. However, it does not pose a threat to the employees as the contamination is below ground. Here in the South Lagoon, we're going to be conducting a pilot test for solidification and stabilization. What that is taking soil and mixing it with a substance like cement and solidifying waste in place so that it can't move from its current location. We're going to do that by using the soils from the superficial hydraulic containment upgrades that are about to take place and mixing that with sediments taken from the Koppers site ditch and doing that all at once here as a solidification project, which will be in place early of 2009. We're here in the former North Lagoon where we're piloting 3 separate environmental remediation technologies. One of those technologies is called in situ biogeochemical stabilization. And the concept behind it is that you create a reactive box around any contamination so that it can't leave the area where it's located. The second remedial technology that we're piloting here at the North Lagoon is the use of active DNAPL recovery through wells. The third environmental technology that we're piloting here at the North Lagoon is passive DNAPL removal by allowing water to flow through recovery wells on its own. We're here at the Superficial Aquifer Containment System. It's been in operation since 1995. The way the system operates is through extraction recovery wells at the east side of the site. The groundwater wells extract the water that's been impacted, they pre-treat the water, and then they send it to the Gainesville Regional Utility wastewater treatment system. As part of an interim remedial measure to be taking place in December of 2008, Beazer is going to add additional recovery wells near the 4 principal source areas. These wells are installed so that any site impacts would be detected years in advance of their making their way to the GRU Murphy well field. It's important to remember that to date, no site contamination has been detected at the GRU Murphy well field.
Hi, it's me again. This is the end of our guided tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we answered all your questions concerning historical environmental contamination or the current operations at this site. If you have further questions, please call the number at the bottom of the screen. Again, thanks for watching.